And I have some music that we're going to play too, so we can start that and find a good level for the music. And this will go on about 25 or 30 minutes. So getting comfortable is important. Imagine or visualize a beautiful door that is closed, and this is a doorway into your past lives. On the other side of this beautiful door is a magnificent light that does not hurt your eyes. On the other side of the light is a scene or a person, an experience, a past life. Join this scene, this person completely as I count down from 5 to 1. And as I reach 1, you will reach that scene, that person, that figure, that experience, that past lifetime, and join it completely. You can remember everything. 5, the door begins to open. You become aware of the beautiful light on the other side of the door, and this light pulls you to it. It attracts you. There's something for you to learn on the other side of this door, on the other side of the light. 4, you move through the light closer and closer to the scene, the experience on the other side of the light. 3, coming closer, more and more into focus, about to join the scene, the person, the experience. 2, nearly there now. 1.
This old woman from like the 80s.
So I opened the door and there was like this, it was like this like log cabiny place, and then
I stepped through the door and beyond the light, and I was nearing an edge of kind of a cliff, not a huge cliff, more of a jutting rock, with trees on either side, overlooking some kind of field.
there like everyone was wearing like essentially just like leather, like brown like wooden leather, and like everything was, and like everyone was like not talking, and everyone was like eating like soup out of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember like this like very like Goodwill kind of aesthetic outfit, and a smoker, and really high hair.
And I walked up to this boy, and then I looked down and realized that. At first I was like, oh, is that who I was or something like that? But no, I was watching this boy, and I was standing there in sandals and in cargo shorts, and also in a red t-shirt. And I was much bigger and much tanner, and I had larger, hairier arms. And
It was weird because it wasn't a good person.
Actually, by the time I had reached that point in the video, I feel like I already reached my peak of relaxation, because right before that, when he was talking about trying to like picture yourself like in the womb and then your birth, I actually became very emotional, and that was definitely, like as I said, the peak of my relaxation, because that's when like my body felt the most numb, I felt the most focused. And I was even like starting to tear up. And then after that, once he started talking about the door, it like kind of pulled me straight out of it, and I immediately started to feel like all of my tension again.
I was not on ground. I was sort of floating in the air, and it was just a bunch of mountains and fog and little flowers and stuff at the bottom. And that sort of slowly faded into a overhang type thing of some, I didn't know what it was, but there was like cobblestone roads, like all the flowers turned into that sort of. And then there were all these motorcycles coming at me, and I thought I was in Italy or something, but they were all going inside, and I had just come from inside to outside.
Opened the door. I was in a trailer park. I opened the door to my trailer, and two like identical, like short, chubby women with like tank tops. One was purple and one was like faded out green. It was like nasty. They came up, it was like smelled like cigarettes. And they're like, told me something, I don't know what they said, but then I walked out of the door and I think that I got in a car accident.
Oh my god.
me being dragged away by these two white soldiers in camo, and they just dropped me down and shot me.
And when I went through the door, I was in like the 1920s, I think. I was like a kid in New York City.
I like had my face pressed against someone, and I woke up and I looked down and it was my mom, I guess, sleeping. And we were in a horse-drawn carriage, and I was 3, and I had on a really ugly flower dress and a hat, and I didn't want to be in the hat. And I just remember like looking out the window and being mad that my mom was asleep and she wasn't seeing it.
It was a war. I felt I was in a war. It sounds weird, but yeah.
Yeah? Like what kind of war? What kind of combat?
It felt, well, like just like right in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Like right, like...
Guns? Swords?
Guns.
Mm-hmm.
Like old school guns. Like, you know, like World War II,
Mm-hmm.
World War I type of shit. Yeah, like that type of stuff.
Felt like I like didn't go to school, just kind of like wandered around, did my thing.
I was like this little guy, like a young boy with brown hair, and I was like mopping the boardwalk of like New Jersey or something.
I remember then being on a boat. The boat was rocking and it was storming, and I was the only person on top, and there were people shouting for me to get underneath. And then everything was fine, and the water was clear, and the sun came out.
I started running. Everyone around me was like dying, and it was pretty quick, up to the point when I died in my past life. Like, I was shot in the eye.
I jumped off the boat and I killed myself. It's not funny.
Like, I had the same nose. The eyes were kind of the same. For the most part, like, I looked a little more light skin, probably like around your skin tone.
Did you think you were, like, did you get any sense of whether you were American or, like, a European or?
You're definitely European.
Yeah.
Definitely European, yeah.
Anything more specific?
Probably Spaniard.
Uh-huh.
Definitely a Spaniard, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah,
What gave that away?
My teacher was a Spaniard, my film teacher, like back in high school.
Uh-huh.
So like the way like I knew how like the way that they looked, the way they acted and
Right.
stuff was kind of the way like people around me sounded. Everybody's always told me that everybody's like, you know, you die, like people that like know this stuff that my like stepmom brings over her friends or whatever are like, you know, I see you probably died in like World War II. I think you got shot like in your abdomen, but I have a birthmark that's right here that if my skin color like all around me gets darker, it doesn't change. So I've heard that birthmarks are like the sign that was where you got killed or that's what happened like right there in your past life.
You know, I'm very open to that being like a very solid truth. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's my past life. I think it's my... What I think it is that for some reason I was trying to picture my Western past life, and it actually turned out to be someone who exists in my life. And it's like... There's parallels between people, and I think, like kind of like dreams, like you regurgitate, like, what you know. And so I regurgitated what I know. But, like, I have heard interesting things about past lives. Like, I feel like if I was in a more meditative state, like, because, like, for example, in, like, real past lives transgressions, they, like, massage you, and there's multiple people talking to you, and it's, like, very physical, and it's, like, you pay a shit ton of money to do it, and that would, like, open some wounds, I'm sure.
Science doesn't really have much on the afterlife in general, like, at all. So on top of that, having a past life is just like a whole nother level that there's absolutely no... I mean, the only thing, like, evidence would be stories such as my Ukrainian teacher who was able to point things out that she otherwise would not have known, and I've, like, read about certain cases, but I mean, like, who knows what that was. But let's say that was real. I don't know if, let's say my spirit was in another body, if I really did come into a new body, if memories are from the brain, and like this brain is solely from this body, I don't know how I would have recalled things unless like the spirit can recall memories and it's all just like conceptual, abstract, intangible. You know, like that's just, you can't wrap your mind around that. Like there's nothing. So the only logical thing is, like, again, like, just disproving it, that, like, if this is a brain that's just for this body, how could it recall things that, like, it didn't experience?
I think that was a past life thing. Yes.
Mhm.
No, I don't think that I projected anything, and if I did, it was completely subconscious, and I'm not aware of it now. So,
It was pretty disappointing because I've always wanted to do this and it didn't work out this way. But I'm not like dissuaded yet. I still want to pay someone like $100 to do this to me in person. Like I'm still ready to go to do that.
I don't actively say that I believe in that, but it's something I wouldn't necessarily close the door on.
Yeah, we do believe in reincarnation though. It's I haven't talked about that much with my parents or my grandma that much, or even the temple. I usually sit down and we just pray and meditate. It felt very similar, like being, because at that point I just like sat down and this like was crisscross applesauce, like in the pretzel position. Like be like meditate that way, not like a pretzel, like sitting down like like that.
I could see someone approving it as a way of therapy, but for instance, you were asking whether you think it was me just romanticizing an era that I like, or I think that would be an explanation they have for it. I think they'd say that, oh, well, you know, he's from New York, or he's from so-and-so, so that's where he got that, like, clearly, obviously, and it's just kind of the mind making small fabrications of things he already thinks, or things he already does, or whatever. But I think that I don't see why they wouldn't see that as a legitimate, you know, way to go about therapy.
As a therapy, I think it absolutely could be very valid. I was very relaxed the whole thing, and I wouldn't feel honest if I said it probably didn't happen, that life that I feel like I just watched. I also can't say that I have this innate belief in it as well, that it did happen. So as a therapy, I think absolutely it's something that could be very helpful. And I know both religion and specifically religion, that's something that came up in this whole memory thing, and that's something that I have been thinking about quite often recently. And then also the loving and forgiving type, those ideas, both things that have been on my mind in a way. So as a therapy, that makes total sense. As it actually happening, possible, you know, definitely not impossible.
I don't know. The awareness that's here
Can't
is
leave.
from energy, and that the fact of law of conservation of energy is that it can't be created or destroyed. So that's where perception comes from. I don't feel like it goes anywhere. So the possibility of it being recycled physically is like, I feel like that's a stronger chance. So I definitely want to try it. But as far as experiencing it, again, because this is a completely new thing, unless you do get to this deeper point. But I just feel like if you're getting to that point, it'd be very hard to try and pull that out when it like would transcend time and space and all the material stuff, you know?
I don't really think they exist, but I know meditation's awesome. And this is only like verified that. We were talking before, I can't do meditation, so this was cool, so.
I believe very strongly in past lives and spiritual things and angels and all of that. And I've actually had experience with that stuff in the past, and my whole family has spoken to our guardian angels or whatever, and everything, and that's been a crazy experience too, a lot like this one. But I definitely believe in that, or at least a strong energy from past lives that are always surrounding you, because I feel like your soul is separate from your body.